welcome to Tailor-Made News. I'm Victoria Lancashire. Now, every year Christmas is a time of joy and happiness for families across the land. It's particularly exciting for the children when they open their gifts on Christmas Day. But for those who make all of the toys and games, there's very little festive fun to be had. Our reporter Robert Pesto has been to the factory in Lapland to talk to one disgruntled worker about the appalling conditions that they have to face day in, day out. He brings us this exclusive report.
Welcome to Valkentiludrop in Lapland, the nerve centre of Santa's worldwide chain of factories and distribution centres. As you can see, it's a far cry from the forest grottos of popular myth. And it's no fairy tale for the people who work inside either. I've been speaking to Nicola Elf, an employee who's lifted the lid on Santa's operation at Valkentiludrop. This is Santa's sweatshop.
When I first saw the advert for the job, I thought, I think I could do that, but it wasn't anything like I imagined.
In what way?
You see, they told us there'd be perks, which turned out to be like a stale mince pie and a glass of mulled wine at the end of the shift on Christmas Day. They didn't even have a non-alcoholic option, which I think is terrible, because not everybody drinks alcohol.
So what's it like being one of Santa's elves?
Well, the terms and conditions of our employment are really terrible. We get 2 comfort breaks in a shift. And when you're a woman of my age, you can't hold your bladder in for that long. I have to keep nipping off to the toilet and someone has to cover for me. 2 comfort breaks in a whole shift. It's not right.
Yes, I understand.
What really gets me is that we do all the donkey work. We work 365 days a year. We don't get any holiday. An old fatty upstairs, sorry, we're allowed to say that, he works 1 day of the year, 1 day, and he gets all the credit.
So what does he do for the rest of the year?
He spends the rest of the time watching Christmas movies to get himself in the mood, stuffing his face to put on weight, so that he looks the part, and he takes all the glory.
So what happens on Christmas Eve?
Inevitably, with all the chimneys that Santa's going down and his rotund, appearance, he gets stuck down chimneys left, right and centre. And, who's going to rescue him? Muggins here and my mates back at factory. And of course the reindeer have to go back and collect us, and we have to come back with the winch gear and get him out of the chimney. We don't get overtime. The reindeer do, so they don't bloody mind. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear, am I? He gets all the mince pies, fresh ones, of course. He gets all the milk. The reindeer get all the carrots.
And what would you say is the worst part of the job?
When you've had carrots from millions of homes all around the world, by the time you get back to the factory, they're glowing in the dark practically. And of course, with all that vegetable going through them, they can't have a crap, when they're doing the rounds, it just wouldn't be right, So they hold it all in till they get back to the factory, and then it's like the floodgates open, and it's like everywhere. And we don't get any protective clothing, nothing at all. We have to bring in our own marigolds. And then we have to scoop it all up and stick it up the keep. And we don't get any extra money for that, no danger money. It's not right. It really isn't right.
Nicola Elf there with some shocking allegations. We asked Santa for an interview, but they said he wasn't available. However, a company spokesman was prepared to make this statement. We don't recognise your description of life at Valkentiludrop. Clearly, this is not who we are. Of course, we refute all the allegations, apart from the ones that are true. We accept lessons must be learned, and we've launched an urgent inquiry, due to report to the board in 900 years. If mistakes have been made, We promise to take immediate action. Thank you. Well, that's all from Vok Until You Drop in Lapland. Back to you in the studio, Victoria.
That was Robert Pesto reporting from Vok Until You Drop. Well, that's all we've got time for today. We'll be back next year, same time. Until then, that's Tailor-Made News. Have a very Merry Christmas.